Hey everyone, it's Lisa Turner here again, and so I thought I would share some thoughts about, is it okay to charge for spiritual services? And I posted in my group about this, and just thought I'd do a little Facebook Live here about it. So here's my thinking about, so what do you do when you work as a spiritual teacher, doing psychic readings, healing, whatever, and someone says you shouldn't do it for personal gain, it's not spiritual to charge? So I've got a couple of thoughts on this. So first of all, my advice to you, my suggestion is, and this is what I usually do, when someone says you shouldn't charge for spiritual stuff, how dare you? I mean, God, I've had death threats about this. I don't know. So what I say to people is, that's a great idea. I'd love to do it for free. Can you walk me through the business model of how that works? Because literally, I have our business. It costs us thousands of pounds every month to keep it going, with the overheads of web hosting, the email list, various bits of software, my team to keep the software working and to update stuff. I shoot a video, I've got to host it somewhere, all of that stuff, thousands of pounds every month. So if you can walk me through the business model of how I can not charge anything at all and still keep the business going so that we can actually deliver this amazing stuff. So you want amazing stuff for free, and in order to just deliver it, let alone the time of the team, walk me through that business model and I will adopt it. I'll take on that business model, and I'll assume that if you don't reply, you don't have a business model. No one has ever replied with the business model of how that works. So I'm guessing either there is one but nobody knows about it, or there isn't one. So, if you can come up with a business model that lets me know how you can keep a business going, that, with business, there's something known as the cost of doing business. Hosting a website, even, just the bare minimum of that, let alone the graphic designer who does beautiful graphics and things like that. And then, so somebody will say, well, it's okay if you only charge for your time. And I say, that's a great idea. So I won't charge for the service, I'll charge for my time. Okay, great idea. But what about my team's time? Am I supposed to say to them, well, I'm only going to charge whatever they considered a reasonable amount for my time? My team expected to not be paid? Because I'm definitely not okay with that. I'm really big on paying my bills on time, like super big. So that's the first thing I do. If somebody comes to you and says it should be free, I say, that's a great idea. I'd love to be able to do it. How can I do that? And how can I support myself in, delivering, just giving everything away for free? The other thing I do is I often say to people, and we have this in the business, is I say, well, here's what I do is I charge pretty much everyone, more or less the same. And then I have, for those people who are really, really in desperate need, and they really want it, and they're really committed to doing a program, we have, not on all of our programs, but on some of them, we have scholarships. So people can apply for a scholarship. And what we do is we say, on a particular program, say, for example, our Psychic Development Foundation. So for every 10 people who purchase, we will give one place away. It's not completely free, but it's like a tenth or a fraction of the price, like a peppercorn. I think we could call it peppercorn rate. Got an itchy nose. They say, don't scratch your nose on video. Oh, God. But I was sitting there, I have to scratch my nose. Anyway, I scratched my nose. We can just ignore that. I scratched my nose. Oh, my God, she's human. What? I thought she was spiritual. Yeah, sometimes I get itchy nose. Anyway, so people will pay like under £10 for a course that might be worth, several hundred a pound. I can't remember the number. It's about 300 quid is the value of that. And we give it as a scholarship, it's just a token amount. And so that's how, people who really can't afford it but are really committed, they can still come on it. So that would be also my advice. So don't just give it away free to everybody, but have a fixed amount. So whether you do it, you run your business as a not-for-profit, so you give 10, 30, 50%, a certain amount just goes to a charitable fund, or foundation, which might be part of your, separate to your business, but still offer the same services as your business. Or you just do what we do, which is we just scholarship 1 in 10. So for every 10 places we sell, one person gets a scholarship. So those are my two thoughts. The other, just to some other thoughts on spirituality and money, and so a lot of people say not for personal gain. There's this theory that it's, somebody said once, should never do spiritual stuff for personal gain. So here's my take on it. I don't know that term personal gain actually meant charging money. I wonder if that idea, not for personal gain, actually meant that, some of the spiritual skills you get, you can absolutely do a total mind mess with people. You can really manipulate people. You do energy, this is my belief, and if you don't believe it, that's fine. And if you're watching this, you probably do believe it, or at least think there might be something in it. But, my experience is that you can throw thought forms, you can do stuff on the astral plane energetically that will influence another person. And if you did that, so that, let's say you were, doing some deal, and you wanted somebody to give you something for nothing, say, I don't know where I got that idea, or a lower price. You could absolutely use your spiritual energy work to get them to give you a better deal than would actually be fair. So I think that's what it means. I don't think that's what it, not for personal gain. I don't think it meant don't charge. I think it meant don't mess about with people's minds and, manipulate them in a bad way. And I just think that, that's pretty much, true of anything. Just don't do anything for personal gain. You could say, I don't know, like banks shouldn't, oh gosh, what am I saying here? Banks maybe shouldn't use their powers to manipulate others for personal gain, or politicians shouldn't, or any, people in corporate shouldn't, or anyone shouldn't manipulate others for personal gain. So I don't think that, that in that context, it specifically applies to spiritual services or skills. And I certainly don't think it applies when it comes to money. I'm going to do a series of these on spirituality and money, because it's a really big thing for people. They get, I see some amazing, amazing people. They've got brilliant services, and it's like that what they do gives real value. And yet because they've got this thing in their head that says it's not okay to charge, they don't. And they end up getting themselves into real trouble. I have somebody on Facebook who I was, chatting with and giving some advice to on how to get themselves out of that mindset. And she was about to be evicted from her house because she couldn't pay her rent, and she couldn't do a normal job because she had so many clients who she was working for nothing. And that just to me seems like out of karmic balance. And when you think, well, you could do your spiritual stuff on the side and have another job in the day. So what you're saying, if you're saying that, is that would have to be true across every industry. It's why would it apply only to spiritual stuff? So what you'd be saying, doing spiritual work, it's intense, it's emotional, it's deep, it can be exhausting, and it can be energizing, but it can be draining sometimes. It requires a lot of attention, it requires a lot of skill, it requires a lot of efforting sometimes. And so what you're saying is that you should go to work in the day and work in an office and be really busy to earn the money to pay your bills, and then come home and expect to be fresh and brilliant and beautiful and wonderful and energized and on tippity-top form for your clients. And I kind of think, especially if you're doing, if spiritual work is in your life's purpose, one of the things I found with working with clients is one of the signs that they're not living their life's purpose is doing something that drains them. So what you're saying is, okay, if spiritual work is your life's purpose and you're not supposed to charge for it, go and do something that drains you, exhausts you, makes you miserable and depressed, and then in those sort of couple of hours a day, do the thing that feeds you and you love. Honestly, I think we all know that that's BS. If that applied to spiritual stuff, what you'd be saying is, okay, a surgeon, brain surgeon, whatever, heart surgeon, they're supposed to go and stack shelves in Tesco's all night to pay their bills and then rock up to the hospital and be on tippity-top form. Now, I'm not saying spiritual services are like brain surgery, although sometimes it might feel like that when you're releasing limiting beliefs to people. But, basically that's what you're saying. You should do something you don't love that makes you miserable to pay your bills so that you can do this thing that you do love. So we'll share a bit more about that. And if you're interested, we are running a live event, How to Be a Six-Figure Psychic, 3rd to the 5th of November. I think I've got the dates right. I hope I've got the dates right. Anyway, there's a little link next to the video so you can go and check that out. And we are going to be busting through your money blocks so that you can start charging what you're worth, because that's what will make you the spiritual leader that you know you are and want to be. So in some upcoming videos, some thoughts I've got are, I'm going to share with you the truth about some of those Bible sayings about spirituality and money. And I will also share some thoughts on some of the sort of more accurate translations and some ideas about karmic balance, about staying and keeping in karmic balance when it comes to charging for your services, and to how you stay in balance and how you don't create energetic attachments to your client, your non-paying clients. I don't know what to call a client who doesn't pay, because it's not quite a client relationship, is it? Like the favorists, because you're giving them a favor. So if you have any questions, hope you like this video. Let me know if you liked it. Give it the thumbs up. If you really liked it, share it, and you think others would benefit from this, do share it around. And hope to see you at our live event in November. And lots of love to you. Get out there, be a leader, be amazing, be even more amazing than you are. Lots of love. Bye.